Wonderful good morning to you, world. I hope you had a wonderful sleep and welcome to new day. So, you know what to do and how to start a day. So, let's start with some fun facts. So, we didn't do fun facts for a while again. So, yeah, this is about, saying ladies first. All right, so you heard this most likely throughout your life. Where is this coming from? Well, on the background, there is multiple things, but I find one very interesting. So, and here it goes. So, a long time ago, there was a wealthy family and a very poor family, all right? And the children from these families, so from the rich family, a man, and from poor family, there was a woman. Or you can use the story the opposite way. It does not matter, all right, which one was which. So, but you will get the idea. And they fall in love in each other, right? So as back then, if you're poor and you're wealthy, parents will not allow that you get married, all right? And this was normal. So they didn't know what to do, all right? Because they were really in love. So they said, you know what? If we cannot live together, let's end our life together. All right. So they climb up like very high, right? It's on the mountain or, on the cliff. And they wanted to, jump and end their life. And at this moment, so there is multiple things here that, how you can change the story. So one is that man didn't want to watch the woman jump, all right, to commit suicide. So they watched the whole thing and said, you know what? I'll go first, all right? And then he jumped, and the woman saw, like, I'm not doing that. So she said, alive, all right? And the second thingy, all right, so how the story can go. So let's say we said, let's jump together, yeah, on 3. 1, 2. And again, men jumped, right? So I'll talk on this because I find this fascinating, differences between men and women, as you might know from biology, so X and Y chromosomes, all right? So women typically have 2 X chromosomes, all right? So X and X. Right? So my second hand, I'm holding the phone, so I would show you like a cross, all right? X. So men has 1 X and 1 Y. So the difference is between X and Y. So basically, if you have an X, so Y becomes, you remove 1 leg from this, all right? And there you go, that's Y. So 1 piece missing, all right? It's very interesting. So these determine, so sex, hormonal profiles, and the resulting physical traits. Traits are basically specific characters, specific characteristic quality, right? So behavioral tendency of a person, all right? But this can be also for organisms or objects. But we talk about people right now, so including muscle mass and organ functions. So let's say women inherit an X chromosome, all right, from both parents, all right, from mom and from dad, while men inherit X from their mother and Y from their father. Again, it's like, that's the difference. And it goes more into details, all right? On this, like, you can do research. It's fascinating. But let's say, I'll carry on a little bit more, and like always, I have to add something because this is fascinating. It's our differences, how we complete each other, why men like is so much wilder and like tests. Oh, let's jump. It's like boys gonna do boys things, while women, they'll plan things, they'll be wiser, they'll be, see the chromosomes, the complete, while man is incomplete and therefore, suitable for testing. And then there it goes, the men thing, all right? So also regarding these chromosomes, they affect, so basically epsilon triggers that developmental thing. No, it doesn't matter. So let's go. So the epsilon chromosome contains the crucial SRY gene, so which acts as a switch to trigger testis development and male hormone production. All right. So the hormonal differences here, there are testes produce higher levels of androgens, so like testosterone. All right. So that's for the muscle growth. So typically men is the upper body, compared to women, hairy. All right. So facial hair and stuff like that. While women, it's the lower, so area of their body, all right? So giving birth, and it's stronger legs and this lower part. See the differences? Again, these X epsilon like points in your body, they differ completely, men and women. So one more fascinating thing. All right, so this is what I found out. So men, M-A-N, and woman. So the men, the M, it's upward, all right? So you get a W. O, so woman, wound, all right? So the womb, all right? Circle, bubble of life, all right? And then you just add man. Man, woman, all right? So like the word itself, I find this also fascinating. Like woman get pregnant, man don't. Man is man, right? and the wording, is the opposite from the other with, see? Interesting, right? So without the epsilon chromosomes, so embryos develop ovaries, leading to higher levels of estrogens and progesterone, all right? So they basically affect, so the whole immune system, disease thingies, while let's say in women, so if one X is, let's say, not that good or damaged, another X replaces it, all right? A healthy one. In men, you have X and epsilon. What replaces what? They're not the same. Right? But you see how we complete each other. Like life, man, woman, and, in terms of creation. Again, so we go light and, so on deeper. It's fascinating, But one without the other, it's, yeah. I mean, it's, throughout histories, so men are sent to wars, not women. Women were at home with children. So again, so let's say when this is happening, like, man does not go, so man has to do stuff, all right, that he has no choice over, like you have to. And woman stays at home alone thinking about, is my man ever going to come back? And she's scared with the children. What? Again, like the whole X epsilon and the what? Like, are you what? Crazy, yeah. So I find this very fascinating, the whole thing. And this goes into more and more and more details. Like I said, the more you look, the more you find. But, it's very interesting thing on it, and how we differ and plus minuses, in the body in terms of like our energy points, the X epsilons, they're located on the different parts of your body. Therefore, different functionalities. But again, like that's how creation is created. Like, I mean, within, and the whole thing is like one completes the other. But I mean, it doesn't have to be necessary in ways how this was going throughout history, all right? Because now, as awareness, we are way more evolved, and we are our understanding levels. Like now, when you're having with someone like conversation about like more complex things, they do understand you. However, they never had the teachings on that. It's just, and this the generations, generation X, generation Y, and so on. Yeah. So, how is that? What? Interesting evolution. All right. So this is yeah. How amazing. And this is why I'm saying that, many times like people are like, this and that. Yeah, same old, same old. But say, this is what I'm saying, because you do the 1 plus 1 plus 1 is like 1 plus 1 plus 1, it equals 3, and you always wait for different outcome. There is no different outcome when you don't do something different. So different knowledges, or eat different food, eat different fruits, go in different countries, listen to different music, and that changes the patterns. All right? So it's basically a different path. And imagine like all the paths and everywhere. I'm not saying it's not all the paths for everyone, but when you are bored, and it's because it's the same, and from same breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, I cannot do this anymore. And there is always something different. If you do not know, try like stopping with everything. Like you say, you know what, today I only breathe. See how you go with that, right? Because you will realize, like, you're so used to food that you cannot last without food. That's what you think. You can. And that's scientifically proven. And that's when you stay yourself only with yourself, nothing else. Thoughts? Can you switch them off, like, after, let's say, 2 days of not eating and drinking, and you just breathe? You're just being and observing. Yeah, that can drive you nuts. Exactly. See, like I say, practice makes the master. You don't go immediately these heights. You don't jump into, minus 20 immediately, like out of nowhere and stuff. But again, interesting, fun fact. Yeah, I find this fascinating. And for me, like, knowledge in general, but again, like exploring food, exploring colors, exploring cultures, exploring, like, I'm not saying like people are, I don't have time for that. We talked about time, yeah? Like most likely is the only thing that you have. But limited again, you do not know when it's coming. That's it. Because again, it's most likely someone like it's they avoided death, like for like, oh, near this, near that, oh, so lucky, so lucky, so lucky. And then they don't wake up from dreams, like from dreams from sleep, right? How is that? Yeah, well, it's meant to be, but meant to be, like, how? This is what I'm saying. Everything is a gift, yet we don't most likely treat it like that. Oh, I'm so tired of this. Yeah, sure. Have you ever wondered, like, where is that coming from? Or, oh, I'm so of this. Then why are you doing that to yourself? Like, why, from where that thought comes? This is what I'm saying, like, trace it backwards. Go back, like, thought-wise. And most likely people cannot do it because, I mean, most likely it's not that easy at first, because you do not know what you're looking for. You're not aware of, like, what can you do, your capabilities, because you're busy doing things that drain you and they not give you back. And then that's a circle already within what you think you have options and everything, but consumed by it. And again, 1 plus 1 plus 1. Yeah, and there comes, different language, everything. So, and this is how we complete each other. But again, it's not what I'm repeating. It's find something that makes you happy. All right, if it's, I said art, if it's walking, if it's animals, if it's, doesn't matter, nature, birds, bees, like, I mean, unbelievable what exists and in which ways. And in general, internet, we have access to things. Yes, it's limited. All right, when you do search in different countries, it will give you different results. I don't know how much you traveled, or if you search the same thing in different countries, you get different answers on everything. In terms of, everyone talks about their history, right? Like, I know multiple histories from multiple countries, from like all differ. All the history says we did, we this, and it's, when you see multiple, you can connect things that you see. Oh wait, what, this, and then different languages. As I said, you know how many truths are lost due to translations? Because there was basic languages where it all came from and it being translated from, and it's, let's say, modern era languages, they do not describe the thing as it's meant to. And therefore, like, let's say if you speak a certain language, you do not already have access to any of this. What? And look into languages. Look from where what. But, it's, I cannot learn a language. Well, you learn until you the last day of your life. It's lessons. And it does not stop ever. Like, fun facts. All right, so you have a wonderful day. And don't forget to be yourself and play and enjoy and do things, yeah, that make you happy. Yeah, as I said, life, it's wonderful. Well, yeah, there is a lot going on in the world, and like this, I'm not trying to cause more confusion or more, there is a lot of beautiful things. And again, opposite of beautiful, what are you listening to? What are you aware of? All right? So try feeding yourself stuff that make you feel different. Because it's the same word. You need something else to break this pattern of same, and you will feel different. Once you feel different, you allow yourself to feel different. And in terms of like in many different ways you can feel different. And this is what I'm saying, like your frequency states. And once you learn how behavioral patterns within them, you can name it. Let's say if I'm angry, this is this bollocks, Eric. And I'm aware, so, bollocks, Eric, wait, what? And I can immediately change to the character I want. And that's within these so this is just, or when it's like, you can dream the drama queen, Eric, for example. All right, so that's actually like state of beingness where I stress about everything and I'm just, yeah. So again, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, most likely all of them. And that brings this character alive, embodies that. And once I'm aware of it, like I know in what state I am and what to do to get out of that state. And therefore your frequent state changes. So just one, yeah? Limitless, as I said.